Hi, and welcome again to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over the world. Yes, I'm sporting my sunglasses, man. Just feeling a little bit in the summer holiday mood, but unfortunately, my job has still got a couple more days to go in the school. But I'm not going to bore you with that kind of news there. But again, you would tell by my thumbnail, it's news which comes from actually the Independent. And the Independent Online are just talking about Edu, our new technical director. Now, apparently, Edu is saying that he wants a winning mentality to come back at Arsenal. So again, let me just get into the bits and pieces. Let me just read out what it says here. Then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of it all. So Arsenal's new technical director, Edu, wants everyone at the club to return to the winning mentality which made Arsene Wenger's side invincible. The Gunners are preparing for a second campaign under new head coach Unai Emery, who guided them to the Europa League Cup final. Well, we know that, but did not deliver the Champions League football. But you know my thoughts on that already. Former Arsenal midfielder Edu has been appointed, as we know, as a new director of football, and he's saying that he wants Arsenal to have that winning mentality again under Arsene Wenger. It's a bit of a paradox because I'm absolutely sure that over the last maybe 3 or 4 years under Arsene Wenger, he kind of instilled that mentality of weak-mindedness when the going got tough. The players just could not form a solid base where they could build from strength to strength, show some leadership, show some grit. So as much as I understand what he's trying to say in regards to having that winning mentality, it's just a shame that the same manager, ex-manager, kind of inbred that weak-mindedness there. So listen, the bottom line is we know we need to have that winning mentality there. Last season, towards the end of the last 4 or 5 games there, that mentality just went to pot. Absolutely to pot there. But yeah, Edu's right. We have to give the team, Arsenal, some time. It's going to take time. Because Unai Emery, again, must be given time. He must be given the players that he wants to get rid of that loser mentality there. But that's one thing. Again, the situation with Koscielny, I don't even want to get into that, but we know we need a club captain. Not 2, not 3 or 4. Only one club captain and one vice captain. It didn't work. It didn't work last season. I understand what Emery was trying to do, because he was trying to maybe feel out some of the players to see where they were or where they are with him. Are there any a larger pool of leaders? And he must have felt so let down because there can only be one leader of men. And my person is Socrates. I want Socrates to be the captain of the Arsenal team there. So yeah, Edu's saying that we have to have that winning mentality back at Arsenal, but it's going to take time. It's going to take time. So let's just quickly see who's in the chat, who's joining me this bright Saturday afternoon. So just bear me a second. Let's fire up the burners. I can see I've got Bar Abraham. Bar Abraham, what's happening, man? And I've got Screenboy 8. Hi guys, welcome. I think you may be new to the channel, Screenboy 8. But if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. And I can see my old friend, my old brother there, Richard from Arsenal TV. Make sure you go over there and subscribe to his channel. I'm not going to leave the link there, but guys, yeah, make sure you go over there and subscribe to his channel. Right, I can't get into the chat on my laptop. I think it's broken down again. But yeah, bye, Abraham. I'm fine. What about you? It's been a while. You haven't made any comments. You haven't come into the chat over the last few days on Cannon Fodder TV. But yeah, Edu, he demands a winning mentality. But tell me, what do you think? What has been the main problem? Why do you think Arsenal have had this loser mentality for so long? Do you think it's down to the previous regime, poor leadership, poor man management skills? What do you think it's been down to? Right, okay, I'm in. I'm in. And whilst I fire up the burners here, just to let you know very, very quickly, again, that next week, Sunday, we're going to be at the Emirates. Personally, I won't be going to any of the matches, but however, we're going to be meeting up with some guys who, other YouTubers who have appeared on Cannon Foyer TV. Going to be my brother. It's going to be Colin from Much Arsenal. We're going to have Mr. Fury, just to name but a few. So if you, we're going to be at the old Highbury Stadium, making our way to the Emirates. So if you see us, you want to chat to us, by all means, ask us any questions. And if you want to have an autograph, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind giving you an autograph. It's not going to be worth anything, but yeah, but we'll be there next Sunday for the Emirates Cup. But I won't be going to any of the matches, but it's a long story. Right, so let's just see. Any questions, guys? Any questions? Screenboy 8. Again, why do you think, Edu has been demanding for the winning mentality to come back at Arsenal? Where do you think this loser mentality has come from? So Screenboy 8 has said, Emery does need time. I think we have a good team. But you know what? We know what's been so promising for me? To see how the young players played against Bayern Munich. For so many times, Bayern Munich have just squashed us. But to see the young players who went out there fearless, and we eked out a 2-1 win against Bayern Munich, the old foe. But again, I've said so many times, I think Unai Emery, like you say, he has to be given time. Got to give him time, man. Has to be given time. I personally think it's been down to the old manager and just lack of mentality from the previous coaches as well. But Richard, what do you think now that we have Freddie Ljungberg, in place of this guy, Steve Bold? Do you think he's made any kind of changes there, knowing that he's been promoted to first team number 2 at Arsenal? Personally, I think having Freddie Ljungberg there and knowing fully well, he's come from coaching the under 23s. I'm sure that he's had an influence there. Any other thoughts? By Ibrahim, what do you think? What do you think? And guys, make sure you smash the like button. And Screenboy 8, make sure you subscribe to Cannon Foyer TV. I'm not sure if you're new to Arsenal TV, Screenboy 8, but make sure you go over to Richard's channel and please subscribe, because he's on the trail to trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. So help him, please, guys. Go over there and help Richard reach 1,000 subscribers. Wicked. Nice one. Nice one. Any questions? Come on, guys. Any questions in the chat before I wrap up this segment of Arsenal News? Edu demanding a winning mentality. Come on. Any more questions? Come on, guys. Questions. I think we're short of like 3 more weeks before the new season starts. Personally, I haven't missed the Premiership, to be honest. Arsenal are playing in the Premiership, because the more I've done more work on Cannon Foyer TV, the more stressed I've become personally. But yeah, I haven't really missed the Premiership. It's been fun, doing like different news, twerky, news, whether it's been like birthdays or announcements or of Arsenal players, or just trying to find other news that maybe other YouTubers might not talk about. So it's been very, very interesting. Right, so I'll be happy with 2 new signings. Well, which 2 signings, we'd be happy with? I read somewhere where someone was saying that Martinelli doesn't really count as a signing. He's a new signing. He's a new signing. And I look back about his performance for the first match he played there. He's got a lot of promise. He's got a lot of promise. I would love to see him play more. We need young, fearless players who's going to play for the badge. The badge of Arsenal. I wanted a central defender. By Abraham, which central defender, would you be happy with? Tierney and another good player. Yeah, I want a central defender who's going to partner Socrates. Mustafi, what, you would know, by all the uploads that we do there. Mustafi, he's not a favourite of ours. Really, he's not a favourite because of the way he plays, the mistakes. But definitely, I would like to see Rob Holding come through at some stage. And an experienced central defender. I mean, personally, I wanted Godin to be there, from Atletico Madrid. But I think he's like 31, 32. But, age is just a number, man. Age is just but a number. Saliba deal agreed now. Yes, but what's the sense of buying a player only to loan him back? We want players for the here and now. We need players for the here and now. We're spending all that money. I know it hasn't been announced yet. The Saliba is now signed with Arsenal. But what's the point of buying a player only to loan him back to the parent company? It doesn't make any sense to me, really. Having players that have played for us in the past is only going to benefit the young players that want to become a legend for the club, and maybe tell the older players to play for the badge. Yeah. You know what, Richard? Like we said before, is it an unfair comparison to compare Arsenal to Man City? I don't think it is, because Man City, as much as we have a greater sense of history, it's been lost over the last maybe 5 to 8 years. We've been so frivolous with the money that we've had. Buying in players, sending them, or letting them go, next to nothing. So the point you make there about having young players come in and forcing the older, more experienced players to fight for the position, and that's what Man City have. Guardiola has that there, but he's been given time and money. Emery has to be given time and money. Each and every position should not be a given. Every player must fight for their position. They must be scared and worried that the next person is behind them. If they don't perform, they will lose their position there. Complacency has riddled through this team. And I blame, Gazidis, well, to a certain extent, Kroenke, but Arsene Wenger, because he had, a say in everything. Transfers, the monies, everything at Arsenal there. So it's going to take a while to get rid of that mentality, that loser mentality out there. By Ibrahim, why does it want to leave Mustafi? Are you asking why do I want Mustafi to leave? Because he's accident prone. He's made so many mistakes playing for the red and white of Arsenal. I know, that's what I think. We'll buy another 2 or 3 players. Yeah, well, you know what? If you watch the Josh Kroenke interview there, he does talk about some imminent signings coming through. I hope it's true. I hope it's true. Because Emery kind of backed it up, where he said that we're going to be making 2 or 3 big signings. Who are these players? I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody really knows unless you're just Kroenke, Stan Kroenke, Unai Emery, and those guys there. Saul, Seleni, and Binay. Those guys will really know. We don't know. We don't know. Hey, Lumberkamp. Hey, what's happening, man? Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, our contract situation is a joke. Yes, it is. It is absolutely terrible. And Rising 101. Hey, Rising 101. Back in the chat. Back in the house, man. Welcome back, brother. To be honest, I can't wait till the senior players' contracts run out and a new era starts. One with hard work, talent, and collective defending. Well said, Rising 101. I am, I won't say I'm sick and tired, but why do we still have players who clearly have failed last season? I thought we would have seen the end of Mkhitaryan, Mustafi, Jenkinson, just to name but a few. But they played in the last game. They played in the last game. There's one player. I'm not going to mention his name. I can't wait for his contract to finish. With his blonde hair. I can't wait for his contract to finish. He's talking about Willock. Willock is a good player. He's a fantastic player. Willock might just come and take your position sooner rather than later. I'm not going to mention his name because I've said so many times that he's failed us one too many times. We didn't bring this player in 2013 or 14 only to perform against the middle and lower position teams. We brought this player in to perform at the highest level against the top 4 teams. Enough said. Enough said. The older players have just had a comfort zone for so many years. They need to fight now, and Emery will make them fight, bro. Yeah, he will. I love the way Emery came in at the beginning of the season. He was dropping players. Left, right, and centre. Those who weren't performing, you were subbed. Get off. If you don't perform, what do you expect? You're going to get taken off. If you don't show hard work, talent, and a collective mentality of defending, expect to be taken off. And then you throw your dummy out of the pram. We cannot afford to have luxury players. We cannot afford to carry players. Everyone has to fight for a man. Fight to a man. Everyone has to fight. We can't afford to carry anyone. And again, you know what, Richard, I know, Richard, we've spoken about this many times before. How many of these current players, experienced players, would survive under Pep Guardiola? How many of them would survive? Not many. The majority of them would have got kicked to the curb, would have been sold. Would have been sold. But again, it's the loser mentality here, the comfort zone. You've got a new coach trying to make a change, trying to make a difference. But one person is not going to be enough. It has to be a collectiveness, like Rising 101 says. It has to be a collectiveness. Fighting for the cause, wanting to make the change. Comfort Zone FC. Lumbercamp. Oh, God. But you know what? You've just hit the nail on the head. Yeah, Comfort Zone FC, man. But I don't want that for Arsenal. I don't want that for Arsenal. Really. You know what? You know what my era is? Mid-1970s. That's the time when I supported Arsenal. I'm an old guy, but my brother's even older. But that's my time there when I saw some barren years there. But I saw some winning times as well. But there was one thing for damn sure, that you would have seen all the players fight for the cause. Fight for the cause, man. But we've just lost our way. We've lost our way. Can we get it back? Of course we can. But no player is bigger than Arsenal. No player can remain at Arsenal forever. Everyone has the expiration date. Everyone has their time. And maybe it's our time. Sorry, our time? No, maybe it's the youngsters' time. We have to give them the opportunity to shine, to show what they can do. I want to see young, fearless players fighting for the badge. Man, don't get me started, man. Don't get me started. All right. I honestly expect Emery to get us fourth this season. So do I. So do I. You know, he's seen really what the squad can and cannot do, what they're capable of and what they're not capable of. He got this squad of players within 1 point of top four and into the Europa League Cup final with these set of players. Imagine what he can do if he had his own players. His own players. So, yeah, I expect Arsenal. I believe Arsenal. No, Arsenal will be in top four. Mark this day, July the 20th, 2019, at roughly 5 minutes past 6 Greenwich Mean Time in London, North London. If I'm wrong, I might have to do a forfeit. Well, no, we'll get to that, man. Anyway, I want players that will put in 110% every week and fight for the badge and stick together. We conceded 50 goals last season and still haven't signed a centre-back for next season. How? Lumberkamp, I'm begging the same question. I'm begging the same question. You've got Bellerin out until maybe the second or third month when the season starts. Why are we not looking for a right back? AMN, AZ Maitland-Niles is not a natural right back. He's a midfielder. The boy done good last season. But why aren't we looking for a right back? Let's shore up the defence, make us difficult to beat, and then everything else will be a plus. Whether we're at home or away, make Arsenal a fortified wall. Difficult to beat, difficult to break down. And then everything else is a plus. But we're looking for midfielders and wingers. I don't know. I think maybe I'm just too old school, man. I'm too old school for you guys. I'm sorry. Enjoy the youngsters in the Bayern Munich game more than the first team. Dare I say they're more talented? Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, Rising 101. I didn't see the match live, but from what I saw from the highlights, that I really, really enjoyed the gusto from the youngsters there. And I was so happy that, Freddie Nketiah scored the winning goal. So happy to see it, but, I'm not going to mention that player's name, but I saw, Mkhitaryan thinking, no, man, no. Let the youngsters play, man. Let them play. If they lose, they lose together. We can't always win. But let the players, the young players play together, man. It's so frustrating. I think we'll get new players. We need new players. I put the numbers at maybe four new players that we'll need. We only lost 2 Premier League games at home last season. Yeah, all power to that, man. But what was our downfall? Our away form. The mentality. The guys just went up for it. They went up for it. Mkhitaryan is the biggest waste of wages. Well, and another player as well, but I'm not going to mention his name. The guy who's like put he's wearing, he's like got the blonde hair going on there. But these two players, man, get rid of them and just free up the wages and bring in youngsters. Better still, just save the money, keep the money, and just promote more of the youngsters there. Listen, Screenboy, I ain't mentioned the guy's name. You just mentioned his name. I didn't say his name there. Oh, dear me. Against Man City and Palace. Yeah, Leicester City as well, Everton, Wolves. And you know what? Again, if you look at, I'm not sure if Richard did it on his own channel, or maybe it's one of the Easy Talk, one of the segments we do on our channel. But he says that the majority of the teams who we drew against last season, we lost against them in return legs. So if you look, Wolves, Leicester City there, Everton, we just kind of, we crumbled, man. We crumbled. I know he's a free agent, but would you take Dani Alves? Yeah, I would. It's an improvement on what we've got. It's an improvement. Again, I think he's 32 or is he 33? But he'll be an improvement. Play the players in their natural positions. Play them in their natural positions. Again, Maitland-Niles did fantastic last season, but right back, the RB is not his natural position. So the answer to your question, Richard, yes, I would take Dani Alves. I'm not sure whether we can afford him. What's the situation anyway with him? If you watch Man City, they all fight to win back the ball. With Arsenal, if you have Kolasinac, Ozil, Aubameyang, Mickey, Xhaka, that's already 5 players not defending. But why is that? Why is that? Wasn't that something that Unai Emery was trying to instill in the players at the beginning of the season, when he was demanding and asking his players to do that? He had a strict regime for them to lose even more weight. And they couldn't do it. They can't do it. So my good friend, James Rowe, out there all the way in the Netherlands, where I met him this year in Amsterdam, he's right. Unai Emery must be ruthless and drop these players who are not performing and cannot do the things that he's asking them to do. Rising one-on-one, you hit the nail on the head again. That if these players are not fighting and defending and tracking back, we're 5 men down. We're 5 men down already. No man's an island. It has to be a collectiveness. And as much as I love Lucas Torreira, he can't do it on his own. He can't do it on his own. Yep, I remember saying that. Yeah, Dani Alves doesn't have a club. He's a free agent. Then Richard, you and I must do like a demonstration, man. We must demand that Raul Seleni, Vinay, and Edu go out there and sign Dani Alves, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. Guys, again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification button. Yeah, that you receive all the notifications. And just to quickly remind you that we usually have 3 segments on Cannon Forward TV. Mondays is usually the fan comments, where I have one guest. It's a live stream, not more than maybe 30-35 minutes. Wednesdays we have the Voice of Reason with my brother Raz. And on Fridays we have the Easy Talk, which comes in not 2 parts, but it's usually the bite-sized version, which is, again, 30 or 40 minutes or 50 minutes. And then the feature-length version, which is over an hour. So make sure you don't miss out and subscribe. Now, hit the notification button and the subscribe button. Yes, I'm watching you. Yeah, Screenboy8. Yeah, and Lumbercamp as well. You haven't subscribed. I know where you live. No, I'm just joking, man. Just joking. All right. Any more questions? Anything else you guys want to talk about, man? So, yeah, Edu demands a winning mentality, from the new crop of Arsenal players. Winning mentality that he says has come from Arsene Wenger. Again, towards the end of his reign, I don't know, it kind of got lost in transit or translation. Screenboy 8, notifications on. Yeah, make sure, I know where you live, man. I'm coming to get you. Lumbercamp, don't worry, bro, I'll subscribe. Yeah, wicked. I would like to do maybe a live stream come Sunday, the following Sunday, when we're meeting up with some of the guys who's been on Canon for TV. But whether we can do it, I'll try. I'll try. But it's going to be pure mayhem, man. Pure mayhem. Who's going to the Emirates Cup anyway? Those of you who are watching now. Any of you watching? Tell me. There was something else I wanted to talk about, but in the melee, just trying to research Edu's comments there, I kind of lost my trail of thought. So you guys gotta forgive me. If I remember it between now and before I wrap it up, I would. If not, I will include it in maybe tomorrow's or maybe Monday's segment of Arsenal in News. I saw there's been some talk about, again, Man United making a play for Aubameyang. Listen, guys, I don't believe that, man. I don't believe it one iota. I just think it's just the media trying to wind up the fan base. And again, we always fall for it, don't we? Who do you reckon will be playing tonight against Fiorentina? Really, Lundberg, I don't know. I personally, I would love to see Unai Emery play the youngsters throughout. Again, just give them the run out and just see how they get on there. All barring no injuries. But I would love to see give the experienced players give them a rest, and play the youngsters. I would love to see Nketiah play, Saka play as well. Yeah, let's just see, man. But who do you think will be playing tonight? And again, I don't remember what time. What time is it anyway? The match. Will you be doing watch-alongs this season? I don't think so, man. It's too stressful, man. Watch-alongs. I think I might do it because we try and be a bit flexible, a little bit different on the channel. Again, if you go in and see the the Easy Talks, we just have jokes on there. Pure jokes, and just try not to make it too serious. But my wife is Colombian, so I kind of support Colombia. And when they were in the World Cup, we did a watch along, and it was so stressful, man. Very, very stressful. So, but we might do it. We might do it as just do something different. And also as well, we're going to do a segment for our Spanish speakers because I've noticed that some of our Spanish subscribers are falling off because some of them, of course, they cannot speak or understand English. So there's going to be a segment only for Spanish speakers in Spanish, of course, coming up for the new season. All right, so kickoff is about 4 hours and 45 minutes time. Okay, cool. Right, guys, if you haven't got anything else you want to talk about, I'm going to call it a wrap and say again one more time, make sure you go over to Arsenal TV, subscribe to Richard's channel, help him. He's on his road to 1,000 subscribers. Please help him. He's been waiting a while to reach that mark there. And also, as I always say, there can never, ever be a Canon Fodder TV without people who follow us on our Twitter account, people who view the channel, who subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification button as well. There can never, ever be a Canon Fodder TV. And you know what? You have been watching Canon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over the world. And Edu's demanding winning mentality. Breaking news.